sensitive to time. Let's go a little,
Special jobs. I'm handing out all of these.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good thing we're getting good copiers.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure the copiers were working, so. So the first thing that you have is basically our real estate tax, we'll call it matrix.
Before you are.
Yeah, sorry.
This is not.
Sorry, I'll have it on the big
Suboptimal.
screen too. Yeah, that's so, well, it would be like 40 pages long if it would have been optimal, so still trying to be conservative. Let's just go over this real estate tax chart. If you take a look, there's two highlighted sections on this chart, and they're highlighted, one's in yellow, one's in green on the screen. It's I don't print in color, so you get shades of gray. If you look at the, we go all the way down the sheet at the 2.4%, that's right now where our Act 1 index is set. We didn't take the exceptions, so right now we're at 2.4% is the maximum we can increase our taxes. You can see that that would net us about $540,000 of new tax revenue, which is kind of key into the last spreadsheet that Lynette is graciously going to hand out to you. If you look a little further down, 2%. 2% is where we kind of left this discussion in March. About doing a 2% tax increase would net us about $450,000 of new tax revenue. You can kind of see on, I'm going to go all the way to the right-hand side of the sheet where it says estimated budget deficit. So we're kind of, obviously a tax increase at 2% is not going to cover our entire deficit. We would have to go well over 4.5% just to cover our current deficit if we were just to raise taxes, and it's not possible. But just as perspective-wise, what we're looking at. If we would go anywhere below 2%, you can see obviously what that increase would be for taxes. 1% would guess about $225,000. So I want to give this sheet to you now just to kind of see where we were as far as any percentage increases. If we go, the other three sheets I'm not going to really go over too much of. The first sheet that you should have is basically an overview of revenues and expenditures. The revenues being on the top, and expenditures being on the bottom. And you can still see so it should look a little bit like this. It's probably got some small print, it's one page. This gives us our historic outlook on where we are budget-wise. So the preliminary 16-17 budget, right now we're looking at revenue of about $33 million. That includes your state, local, and your federal revenue. I'm assuming right now that our preliminary budget, I have a small increase in the basic education money, but when we get to the last sheet, I'm going to show you that I'm taking that, I'm backing part of that out based upon the current information we have from where our budget progress is on the state budget for 16-17. So I'm going to pause for 1 second and talk about the state budget for 15-16. So you all know that the budget was approved by the Senate and House moving forward. The governor did not sign that budget, so it did go into effect. But what the governor did veto, which we all know is he vetoed the fiscal code. The fiscal code is important because it tells us how money gets broken out and disseminated to everyone. Well, one of the reasons why he vetoed it was he did not like the basic education funding formula that the House had sent through. Along with that is the plan conduct. And we do receive plan conduct. We receive $70,000 a year. And that's reimbursement from what we spend on our bond for the West Reading building. So, right now we don't have that money. That money is owed to us. There's squabbling in the state of whether or not if they owe us that money, it was promised, we should get it. If we're going to get it in this fiscal year, we're going to get it next fiscal year, that's when we determined. But right now, it's not in anywhere because it is not approved that in the fiscal code. And why is that in the fiscal code? It's because how they fund Plan Time was written in the fiscal code. Fiscal code had it where they had to borrow money to fund Plan Time for a number of years. The governor did not like that, so we continued it. But it is owed to us, and everything I'm hearing is that we should get it at some point. It is in this budget right now at $70,000. This budget here that is before you, I have an increase in the BEF. I'm going to show you on our decision-making options. I'm going to back that money out and put it back to what we got for 1450. So we're just unsure of what we're supposed to get. We just got a payment on today. Actually, today the payment was released. It should be in our account of basic education funding for the 15-16 school year. But as far as what that looks like for our overall and how much extra we're going to get, that is yet to be determined. Nothing has been sent out by the state of, like, this is your new BEF, this is your new special education. Nothing has been sent out as far as communications to us at all. So it's really tough to base what we're going to get for our revenue for 16-17, because I don't even know what we're getting for 15-16. And I have no idea what they were going to put in for 16-17. We go through this again, it's just going to be a disaster. So that's where we're going to bring that money, we're going to bring it back a little bit down to what we got last year, because we're at least guaranteed that much for 14-15, our actual. So you do see there that basic, the 7100s, which is our basic instruction operating subsidies, is higher. It's at 1.3. We're going to bring that back. You'll see that a little later. But overall, this you see before you is about $33 million of revenue and $34 million of expenditures, leaving about 1.267 budget gap, which is where we left off in March. All these sheets you have before you, it's just a breakdown of the expenditures, the historical count. You can kind of see where we were, our actuals from 09-10 to 14-15, the budget for 15-16, and then what we're proposing for 16-17. It's more for your information. This is what we're going to be working off of in the next couple of weeks to try and bring this in to close this budget gap. I would like to go to the last sheet, which should look like this. Options. So what we have here, the first half of the sheet is the options as if we still were receiving $408,500 from the Reading Hospital pilot program. The bottom half of that sheet is where we would be if we were not receiving that money. So we're going to discuss the first best case scenario, I guess, the top part first, and we'll go down to that scenario later. So the top three items on this list: PSERS committed fund balance, raise taxes, and draw down all the access funds were discussed in the March meeting. So if we use the committed fund balance for the difference of the PSERS increase based upon 15-16 wages, budgeted wages, we have used $586,000 of the fund balance. It's over $4 million, so we have the ability to do that. That's a one-time budget closure. Raise taxes, not one time. That's sustainable throughout the years. We raise the tax, we get that next year it's cumulative. But where we want to raise taxes at, I have two columns here. The left column is a 2% increase that we just spoke about, which would be $450,000. The right column is if we did a 1.1% tax increase, which is $247,000. The past 2 years, we did 1.9 and 1% tax increase. So 1.1% is right within that range of what we did the past 2 years as far as increase. We can show other options here. The reason I chose 1.1 was based upon that $218,000. If you see, when that says revised budget surplus deficit, if we would make all those changes, which we'll talk about each one, we would have a technically a surplus of 218, I took that 218,000, said, okay, I'm gonna take that off of with the tax increases and back the tax increase down. Now, there's some things on here that you might agree with, and there's some things that you might not, which we're gonna talk about. Number 4, use bond refinancing savings. And Ken Phillips was here back in February, we had a whole conversation of, we're gonna save this bond refinancing, we're gonna put it into capital reserve, we're gonna save it for the junior, senior high school finance project, which is great. If we could do that, that'd be awesome. What I'm coming to you right now is we can use it for this year, so we'll budget the bond payments as what they actually are, instead of budgeting what they were last year, and take the savings of $153,000. Next year, different decision. You want to bank that money in capital reserve, so be it. If the state comes through with their revenue, and we have $153,000 at the end of 16-17, we can put that in the fund balance for capital reserve. That's not an issue. But for right now, my suggestion is we're not going to save it, we're going to use the reduction in expenditures. Guaranteed energy savings. Once again, Ken was here and he said, the guaranteed energy savings from the ESCO project, we should bank that money. I agree with him. We should bank that money. But right now, because of our structural deficit, for this year, I'm suggesting we take the reduction and we use it to close the budget gap. Same things apply. If the state comes through with more additional funds, we end up having a surplus, we can then put that in our capital reserve for the future building projects. The savings of 1% healthcare. This is real. That's $27,000. They moved that healthcare down from 9.5% to 8.5%. That is real. That's going to happen. That's going to go lower, hopefully. There's some significant.
There's the potential for it to go down.
Yes, there is some significant talk about using more reserves. So the past 2 years, the consortium said we're going to spend down our reserves. We're supposed to have 3 months of reserves. We're going to get to that number. So this is we're talking about actual cash. So the plan was for this year, we're going to lower it by X number of dollars, and we're going to keep the cost down. Well, this year kind of didn't go the way they planned. They're actually going to close another positive amount in their fund balance. So I'm hoping that we make the decision to go again, and they try to reduce it some more, so it's not 8.5%. Hopefully they can get that down to maybe 6 or maybe 5. The national average of what the actuaries are saying should be increasing healthcare is 12. So we're exceeding expectations, which is great, but we won't know until May 27th. So we're going to have to really hone in and plan this budget on either going with the 8% or saying we're going to roll the dice, we're going to lower it, and we're going to use contingency amount of money if it goes higher. So it's one of those things that we're not going to know until the last minute. But right, that 27,000 is real. This one is purely an option that we have. It's eliminate the late bus run, not the tutoring run, just the late bus run at the end of the day for going from here to West Reading and I think the hills. So it's for the kids that have detention, it's the kids that are being here for the extracurricular activities. That savings would be $10,000. Because it's one of those things that we technically do not have to provide. As far as ridership, we're working on getting those analytics for you. Yeah, I'm talking with Rich, and they don't really track too much of the ridership, so he's going to be talking to, when they're going to start tracking it now, they're going to be talking to the bus drivers to kind of get a feel of how it's being used. There has been some rough goes here or late about kids saying there's no room on the late run bus, but then they're not. They're sitting into a seat. So there's been some. We're working through it, but this is an option. It's just on that table. It's not a recommendation from us. Yeah, but it's just there, just in case you want to pull that trigger. Next one is not filling a vacant psychologist position. That's the total compensation package is $63,000. That's net. So what do we mean by net? So we do get reimbursement back for our Social Security and our PSERs. So that's the net amount of the savings. So that's an option. We did have savings from our replacing the copy center technician of about $5,100. That's real savings. Admin salary increases. This would be for the administrative staff only. What's in the budget is 1.5% increases. This would be the total savings if we would eliminate that. The FICA and the retirement system on top of it would be a savings of about $20,000. This is another option that you can choose to go zero and we'll be saving that money. Here's what we were speaking about earlier. I'm rolling back the basic ed and special ed, about $111,000. So you see 92,000 there and 26. This should be the safe thing to do right now because we're unsure of what's happening. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we might have more certainty in what's there, and then we can put this money back. But right now, it's kind of pulling the other business managers in the county. The majority of them are going with just their 14, 15 subsidies. Right now, it's a conservative thing to do. ASPE contract is coming up. Did some calculation if we would increase ASPE co-pays, which haven't been increased in over 3 years, whereas everyone else have had their co-pay or their co-premium increase, which would be co-premiums, sorry, not co-pays. If we increased 1%, it would gross us about $8,000. Increase in ASPE wages. ASPE in their contract gets a 1.5% increase every year. But in talking with the rep, there's been some kind of indication that they're going to be taking a look at the starting salaries. So to be proactive, I took a look at the starting salaries, pulled every ASPE contract in this county, this school district, which is 3, including Pine Grove, which is outside of our county, and kind of took a look at their starting salaries compared to our starting salaries. And there were some discrepancies. If they were to go into the comparative outlook, bump those salaries up, I already did it, the impact would be $13,000 that we would have to probably increase. If we go with my suggestion, it would be $13,000. I'm not sure what the ASPE rep is going to bring back, but that's how I feel it should go. That's what we're going to fight for. So that's in addition to the 1.5% increase we already budgeted for all ASPE employees right now. So, with all that being said, if we enacted every single one of these trigger items here, some are certain, some we have to make a decision on, we would have now a surplus. If we raise taxes 2%, we have a surplus of $218,000, which is not what's a balanced budget. If we move to the right here, we would have a small $15,000 cushion if we raised 1.1% in taxes. Based upon your chart, if we would go lower than 1.1, we would have we'd be back in a deficit. We would have to adjust expenditures at some point, which is always the option. I think 1.1 is as close as I can get, essentially balancing this budget. Now, let's have the exciting talk about if the Reading Hospital and the district do not come to an agreement on a pilot. So right now the Reading Hospital, this is included in our budget above that $1.2 million deficit. If the Reading Hospital would say, we're going to end this relationship, we're not going to pay you the $480,500 that we paid you for the past 3 years. So now we have a bigger gap to cover up. So right now, if we raise taxes at 2.4%, which is where our limit is, our index, and we would have to remove that $480,000, we'd be at a deficit of $99,000. So perspective, looking at the mid-level teacher, it's almost 1. That's just perspective, that's not my suggestion at all. My goal is to protect the curriculum side as much as possible. But we would have to be faced with a $99,000 deficit, which we could overcome. We did find by the expense somewhere, cut something out that's not impacting curriculum or anything school related. We could probably come up with that. As if we enacted all those triggers, including the late run, we'd still have a deficit. If we only raise taxes at 2%, which is what we talked about in May, we would have a $189,000 gap. So, once again, this is still a very fluid document. This is not sky's falling scenario, because the big cloud that's looming over us is the state budget. We might get lucky to get a huge increase because Wyomissing deserves it in our state funding. But right now it's kind of it's looking kind of grim on that part. Now, there's some other issues that still have to be cleared up. One being the resolution of the Wyomissing Square Parking Slurry hotel. So remember, depending on how that goes, the outcome is progressing. There will be an update later. If, however, that is settled, if we do win and that assessed value has changed, you're looking about, at the minimum, an additional $220,000 of tax revenue coming in before we do any of this. So you see right there, those deficits are gone. But we're in litigation. So something that's a quick resolution, quick litigation, we could be looking at a different scenario. Recycle. $1,450 we're paid, $1.253. Right now, year to date, not including the payment we just received, $554,000. I think the payment was about $180-some thousand that we received. I can double check that. So, no, that does not include. That was the only payment we received right now is in January. That huge. Yeah, it wasn't. So going back to this before we get into the cash flow. The goal, just kind of working backwards, just for some perspective as far as where our time is. Budget has to be out, so we have 2 meetings that usually are back to back in June. I would actually like to go to adopt the first meeting in June. That gives us some time just in case something comes up and we have that second meeting to fall back on. My goal is to get the tax information to allow you for tax bill printing on June 14th. So June 13th, we're looking for adoption. That means that I would like to present the final budget on May 9th. That would be the first meeting in May. That's a real aggressive timeline, but I think we can work through have some time, there's some time built in. So, we discussed that, we can also discuss this at the regular board meetings also.
Does this include any of the personnel kind of changes that are a little fluid with fraternities to long-term subs or anything?
So how we budget that is, we budget the full FTE in their
It is
slot.
gonna be,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, so yes, we do
So
know there's a whole bunch
Some
of.
wins for us.
It will be.
Yeah.
And naturally, when we go through where we are right now, some of those wins are coming through, if you count them as a win. So,
A cushion for the year, right?
unexpected savings, we'll call it that. So, yeah, personnel is one of those very targets that's always moving. And how we budget is we budget
For the position.
yeah, full position. And right now, we're kind of in a freeze as far as hiring some of those things. The psychologist position has been kind of out there for a while. We did approve to kind of outsource some of that work. If you remember, that was in March. And it's going well. So we're,
We're testing it to make
Yeah.
sure it doesn't cause a hardship for us internally, and if we're able to contract that. It's just, right now, our decision making is gonna be real time. And nothing's really set in stone because of the uncertainty of the budget. So a lot of it is just, have we made it without earning too much, without us getting into trouble, without us not being covered? And if it's workforce in this time, then we go a little bit lower. So that's kind of how we're approaching some of these things right now, because it's just so uncertain.
With that uncertainty, then has there been discussion on, obviously, maybe not adding positions if needed, and the things
Right,
this is.
right now, I mean, we're in the process of discussing that, but there has to be some pretty hard and fast data that will state that. And we'll talk about this in personnel. One of those things is special ed. And so Jess right there, if she's looking at that, is you have to provide the data to show that. But I don't think on a large scale, there really isn't anything, we didn't have any retirements this year, actually, I didn't have any. We have any professional staff, we had an awesome staff. So, not looking to expand right now, over this year.
Adding classrooms at a grade level is a discussion.
I mean, because right now, second grade does have that bump in the seventh teacher, we have to look at what enrollment is. It's very difficult right now, because you don't know what your enrollment's going to be. So we have to take a look, has that shifted at all this year? Are we moving that position to third grade? Have kids go down, so all of that's part of what we're doing. Because remember, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
If we add that teacher now as a full staff member, that's correct.
No, understood.
You know what I mean? And so we don't want to, we don't want to be negligent in our duty and what we need to do, because we also have policy that sets class size, and we have to abide by that. But what's the best option to go forward with? I think it was 6 years ago, we had a bump in third grade, and eventually that bump worked itself out, but we did not need to, the district did not hire to cover that. So that's what we have to look at right now, we walk all the way around.
Listen, I didn't know that there was a policy for classrooms. What is our policy?
It depends on the grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's based on grade.
So there's no primary to elementary or school.
There isn't this grade, like there's no base grade, it's just a through sixth grade.
No, thank you.
The number of scales.
We'll be taking a look at this is about the time of year that where the data is released, prior year. So we will, be taking a look at our enrollment projections again in House Field to see, we did, the enrollment projection we did last year had the bump occurring for second grade this year. And for a year earlier than expected because of some things coming.
The moving is the variable that is.
That's the thing we can't
killing us
control.
a little bit, yeah.
We can at least take a look at the data
Right.
and say what has
Right.
technically
No.
occurred year over year.
Right.
And that's what we kind of use for that projection, survival ratio, we call it. So grade to grade. So we'll be putting that together, getting it out to see what it looks like, hopefully it's, and we should have some preliminary kindergarten registration purposes. So, yeah, that's kind of like what we're looking like for dates. And there's no additional positions added in this budget. It's basically status quo what we have right now. The other option that's not on here is to not provide any money for contingency, which is $250,000 right now. It's not a great recommendation, but it's still one of those things that we can pull out if we had to. It is not something that I suggest or recommend. But so we have $250,000 set aside in this budget for contingency or for special ed and anything. Typically, we have not touched that. We are not projecting to touching that this year. In fact, we're actually, what we projected as far as using fund balance of $133,000 for this charter school reform that never took place. We are actually looking to post a small surplus of about $250,000. So we overcame the small deficit of $132,000. We didn't use the $250,000. So basically, we're saving the contingency. Yeah. Yeah. So once it goes over 26 students, I believe, per classroom, based upon board policies, technically we can take a look and now if it's by one child, one class, it's just reorganizing the classes a little bit, but
That's right, and so it's looking at where those numbers are. So grades 1 through 4 is a great, kindergarten is, I sent this link to you, kindergarten is 18 to 24, grades 1 to 4 is 20 to 25, 5 and 6 is 23 to 27. Now, we have to review the options and it says in the policy, the administration will review the options available with a recommendation to the board. Options include the possibility of adding a part-time or full-time teacher, adding a part-time or full-time aide or others. So when you think about our kindergarten, as they are approaching that 24 or on the upper end, by having their classroom lead and 2 adults in there has worked thus far. Okay? So that's an example of the kind of option that we can look at. We want to go to this policy. Does that make sense?
Yes, and with that year's work, it's something else in that third grade class, that's the first year we do testing. In third grade,
Like others. I think there's others. Just cases in for instance.
but this third grade first year.
Cases in.
This third grade first year.
Oh, yes, that's the first year they take the business in, we will know cases in since.
Right, but it was class size, so
Since I was
yeah, the first year, third grade takes the first one. It wasn't that new, it was just that that was third grade one versus second. Not just a new test.
okay, any questions on the options? There's some might not be best, but some could be,
And we're not recommending at this point, but I want to be clear with that. This is just to give you an idea of what costs, okay? So when you, let me use the elimination of the bus run. I'm not saying that that's a recommendation at all right now, but you need to know what that costs. We need to have discussion with that, but that's the dollar amount, what that would be. We're not mandated to provide that, but if it's an option for your consideration, you may go to us and say, you know, we might go back and find something else.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah. I think I shamed myself to the gray. It's okay.
You're consistent in your approach, Mr.
Yeah.
Weir.
Well, I set the example about the color copies. First, we got the chart basically here. It's kind of changed a little bit. I went back and I pulled data differently, which is going to kind of sound odd. But I pulled data, or I was pulling the data was pulling from our accounting software was exactly on a cash basis. So I pulled it more on a cash basis, which kind of changed this chart a little bit. We were prior July and August were kind of more off the chart. Pulled it differently, pulled it more on the cash basis. It adjusted a little bit. I want to give you that before this. By the way, last month this was a little different. So you can still see the huge spike in August once the local we're looking at the bars, not the lines right now. The bars are our expenditures. The dark gray is where we should be as far as budget. The light gray, or if you're looking at the color chart, it's the blue and the gray. The blue is the budget. The gray is where our actual expenditures are. There are some months where we did not exceed our budget. There are some that we did. And if you look at the past 3 months of December, January, February, we were almost break even budget to, or a little bit behind the budget as far as our expenditures. We started to curtail a little bit and not fill some vacancies. We started to curtail some expenditures just because of the uncertainty with the state and their revenue streams. If you look, once again, May and June, those two huge spikes. May will not be that spike because we prepaid that bond payment that was supposed to happen in August. And June is when the huge payout of the teachers occur. So there's always a big spike as far as our payroll at that or that month, excuse me. But we still are in fairly good shape. It's that the big thing right now is just that plan con money at $70,000, but shouldn't affect us all that greatly. We do once again anticipate getting that revenue at some point. Might not be this year, but I do anticipate getting it. Take a look at the lines now. We're going to talk about that. The orange is where our budget is. The green is where we are actually at. And obviously, August is that huge peak. We get our tax revenue in, and curtails down. You see in January, we get that huge injection of $2 million from the state. And then it kind of hockey pucks, the curve kind of goes down again. In February, kind of below where we should be as far as budget. That's because we didn't get any state revenue at all. So if you look back basically from November to June, that's our reliance on our basic education and our special education funding is that funding stream right there. But we still project we are good with cash. We should be getting through till July when the tax revenue comes in August. So it's still positive. The second sheet I provide you is more of a kind of see the numbers being applied to this. Take a look at the top left-hand corner. You kind of see budget revenue and expenditures, and then the third column there is our surplus / deficit. So we did that $132,000 of fund balance that we're going to use that we projected. I don't project having that this year. We take a look at the expenditure projections for the end of the year and project about $240,000 of surplus. We take a look at the actual, kind of see where we are with revenue and expenditures and our surplus. This is on the cash basis. So it's cash coming in, cash coming out. We're doing okay. Right here's that one in January where we're actually we had more revenue coming in and expense going out. So we're doing okay. If we just scroll down to the bottom part of the page, you can kind of see the revenues. We collected about 85.65% of our revenues. So if you recall, our local funds about 80 to 82%. So that's all the tax revenue and any local revenues coming in, like the pilots included in that, any type of other taxes coming in, business privilege tax. That business privilege tax, the majority of that is actually collected in April and May, so that should be coming out to help us out. But we are pretty good, right, 85%. We got essentially 4 months to go yet. Take a look at our expenditures, how they're tracking. So far, we spent 61% of our expenditures, but remember that huge chunk of that comes in June as far as pay that we paid out to the teachers for their contract. So it starts up again in September. So we're doing okay. We're still good with cash. We still have plenty to move all the case before I dip into any type of reserves. But as long as the state funds keep flowing in, we should still be in a good place. So the big question is at $70,000, which shouldn't affect us too much. That plan constantly can hopefully be paid to us. So we are good with cash. Last thing. Oh yeah, we are still being conservative for sure. As far as our projections, I am projecting on this. This is where we're going to end up hopefully at 6:30. Hoping that part of that plan money comes through. Still am projecting to get 2 payments. It's $35,000 apiece. That was showing in our variance of budget to projection, about $26,000 below our budget. And then with our expenditures, which is mostly due to various savings, a lot of it's due to the personnel, everything that Susan was talking about as far as those long-term subs. It does add up after a while. That's not all personnel savings. It's not $450,000 of personnel. Basically, there's other savings that we started curtailing expenditures now that we're taking advantage of. So overall, the overview of the actual revenue that I'm projecting, the actual expenditures, still projecting about $256,000 that will have revenue over expenditures. And we can put towards what we're going to expense or use in the retirement fund balance and users fund balance, like that $561,000. We can replenish that, and that would be about half that. So we're still tracking really well. We're still looking good with cash. So everything seems to be on track. This is now about closing that budget gap and making some of those choices. We should be set for our 16, 17, hopefully. Further. Oh, I didn't print this one out for you. I can send it to you. This is kind of a messy sheet. To be honest with you, but I have no problem sharing it. Send it out. So essentially, this is being driven off of all this information here. What we do is we break it down and we actually project out per the object here. So we take the function. So this is basically education. We just call it that. 1200s are special. The 1200s and the 23s here. Special education. Put the budget in, put the actual year date, and we just make a projection off of that. One saving grace is that our charter school enrollment has been lower than last year, and we didn't budget an increase, which is great. I think about that $451,000 you saw expenditure, $71,000 is contributed to a lower charter school placement, which is great. Hopefully that trend continues. What's in the pipeline right now as far as elementary school kids, still mostly secondary kids in the charter schools. So we have, I think, 3 to 4 elementary kids, which is great. So hopefully we don't accumulate any more. We graduate those kids and we really lower that charter school cost even further, or if reform actually happens. But we did have some savings there. So it's a process. this and hopefully start using this data to also look at some of the 16, 17 projections as far as the budget. Use this data to say, okay, well, we're not trending as high as we thought, we're lower back. If we're closing the gap just much more. Any questions on all this?
Heavy.
Sorry. Sure.
All right.
Okay?
Long spent.
Yeah. Always semi scroll.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.